Imagine standing in a place where your compass needle spins in circles, GPS devices crash, and watches suddenly stop. Our planet hides corners that modern science still can't fully explain. Mysterious zones where the normal rules just don't apply. These aren't stories from science fiction. They're real locations that continue to stump researchers today. From bizarre gravitational anomalies to unexplained disappearances, these places remind us that our planet still holds enigmas beyond our understanding. Let's uncover these scientific puzzles together. Richet structure, Mauritania. From space, it looks like a perfect bullseye staring up from the Sahara Desert. A massive circular formation nearly 30 miles across with concentric rings of exposed rock. The Richet structure, often called the Eye of the Sahara, remained hidden from most human awareness until spacecraft photographed it in the 1960s, revealing its stunning symmetry. Initially, scientists believed it was an impact crater from a meteorite, which would explain its circular shape. However, detailed studies found no evidence of the shock rocks or melted material typically found at impact sites. Later theories suggested it formed from an underground volcanic dome that never erupted, instead eroding over millions of years. Yet the perfect circular shape and concentric rings don't match typical volcanic erosion patterns. The structure's remarkable symmetry, unusual mineral deposits, and precise geometric arrangement continue to puzzle geologists. Some researchers now propose it resulted from complex interactions between magma, groundwater, and unique tectonic conditions. But the debate remains open, leaving this massive eye-shaped formation as one of Earth's most photogenic mysteries. The moving rocks of Death Valley. In a remote corner of Death Valley lies Racetrack Playa, a perfectly flat, dried lake bed where rocks mysteriously move on their own, leaving long trails etched in the desert floor. Some of these sailing stones weigh hundreds of pounds, yet somehow glide across the surface without human intervention, sometimes traveling several hundred feet and even making sharp turns. For decades, scientists were completely baffled, until a 2014 research team finally caught the rocks in action. They discovered that during winter, thin sheets of ice form on the playa. When partial melting occurs in the morning sun, these ice panels, pushed by light winds, can drag the rocks across the mud. However, this explanation created new questions. Why do identical rocks placed side by side sometimes move in completely different directions? Why do some rocks remain stationary for years while others nearby move frequently? And why do certain rocks make sharp 90-degree turns that winds alone can't explain? Despite identifying the basic mechanism, scientists still can't predict which rocks will move or when, leaving this desert dance partly unexplained. The boiling river of the Amazon. Deep in Peru's Amazon rainforest flows a river so hot it kills anything that falls in. The Shunitempishka, or boiled with the heat of the sun, reaches temperatures of 196 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to cause third-degree burns in seconds. This 4-mile stretch of scalding water was long considered a legend until geoscientist Andres Rizzo confirmed its existence in 2011. What puzzles scientists is the river's location. It's nearly 400 miles from the nearest active volcano, which would normally explain such extreme heat. The water contains no unusual chemicals that might trigger exothermic reactions. Current theory suggests a fault line-based hydrothermal system where rainwater seeps deep underground, heats through geothermal energy, then rises back up through cracks. But this doesn't explain why only this specific river boils while surrounding waters remain cool. As research continues, the boiling river remains a geographical anomaly that challenges our understanding of geothermal activity and heat transfer in non-volcanic regions. The Devil's Sea, Japan. About 60 miles south of Tokyo lies a stretch of Pacific Ocean that Japanese fishermen have feared for centuries, the Mono-Omi, or Dragon's Triangle. This area has claimed over 700 lives since the 1950s, including a research vessel sent to study the area in 1953 that vanished with its 31 crew members during calm weather. Unlike the Bermuda Triangle, we know this region sits above active volcanic formations and tectonic plate boundaries. Yet these factors alone don't explain the frequent disappearances or compass malfunctions. Despite monitoring with advanced technology, scientists haven't identified what specific mechanism makes this area so dangerous. The combination of electromagnetic anomalies, unpredictable weather, and possible methane eruptions creates hazards that remain scientifically unexplained. The Oregon Vortex.
Uncovering one of Oregon's longest-running mysteries, the Oregon Vortex has been amusing thousands of visitors for years.
Hidden in southern Oregon's hills sits a 165-foot wide circle where ordinary physics seems suspended. First documented by miners in the 1900s, the Oregon Vortex displays phenomena that continue to baffle researchers. Visitors change height depending on where they stand, brooms balance without support, and objects appear to roll uphill. Native Americans called it forbidden ground, where animals wouldn't venture. When scientist John Lister investigated in the 1920s, his research notes vanished after his death. Modern scientists have tried to dismiss these effects as optical illusions from the tilted environment. However, this explanation doesn't account for measured magnetic anomalies and height changes that occur even without visual references. These consistent effects have persisted through decades of scientific scrutiny, revealing significant gaps in our understanding of spatial physics. Magnetic Hill, Moncton. Just outside Moncton, New Brunswick, sits a roadway where cars in neutral gear appear to roll uphill against gravity. Tourists flock to this spot to witness their vehicles seemingly defy physics as water and balls also appear to move upslope. The effect is so convincing that first-time visitors often gasp in disbelief. Scientists classify Magnetic Hill as a gravity hill, a place where the surrounding landscape creates a powerful optical illusion. The horizon line is obscured, and the true slope is disguised by the arrangement of trees and distant hills. What looks uphill is actually downhill. Yet this explanation doesn't satisfy everyone, as visitors report magnetic anomalies affecting compasses in the area. Local legends claim the hill possesses actual magnetic properties, pulling metal objects upward, despite thorough geological surveys finding no unusual magnetic fields. The debate continues, making Magnetic Hill a perfect example of how our senses can be thoroughly deceived by natural phenomena. The Crooked Forest, Poland. Near the town of Grafino, Poland stands a grove of about 400 pine trees with an impossible feature. Each trunk bends sharply at the base, forming a perfect J shape before curving upward. All trees bend northward at precisely the same height, about 3 feet, and at nearly identical 90-degree angles. Even more strangely, these curved trees are surrounded by normal, straight pines of the same age. Planted around 1930, these trees have generated numerous theories. Some scientists suggest heavy snowfall bent the young saplings, while others propose gravitational anomalies or genetic mutations. The leading explanation involves human intervention. Farmers possibly bent the young trees for furniture making or boat building, then abandoned them during World War II. However, no historical records confirm this theory, and the uniform curvature would have required sophisticated techniques unusual for that era. The perfect consistency of the bends, their identical orientation, and the absence of similar formations elsewhere leave this forest as a botanical mystery that continues to defy complete scientific explanation. The Zone of Silence, Mexico. Tucked away in the Mapamay Basin of northern Mexico sits a patch of desert with properties that defy explanation. Locals call it the Zona del Silencio, a roughly 30-mile radius where radios go dead, compasses spin erratically, and even meteorites seem unusually attracted to the area. The oddities were first documented in the 1970s when a U.S. military rocket veered off course and crashed here, prompting scientists to investigate. They discovered that radio signals mysteriously drop out, cell phones fail to connect, and broadcast equipment simply stops working, all without clear reason. Some researchers point to unique mineral deposits creating electromagnetic anomalies, while others suggest unusual magnetic properties in the soil. Yet thorough geological surveys have revealed nothing that should cause such extreme interference. Even more curious, these effects seem to drift and shift across the zone, appearing unpredictably rather than remaining fixed to one location. Despite decades of study, scientists still can't definitively explain why this dusty stretch of Mexican desert seems to swallow modern communications. Hestalen Lights, Norway. In Norway's remote Hessdalen Valley, strange lights have danced across the sky since at least the 1940s. These glowing orbs hover silently, sometimes for hours, changing colors from white to yellow to red before zooming away at incredible speeds. During the early 1980s, these appearances peaked with sightings almost nightly, drawing international attention. What makes these lights truly mysterious is their behavior. They move with apparent intelligence, split into multiple lights, merge back together, and respond to other light sources. Since 1998, a dedicated scientific station has monitored the valley, capturing these phenomena on specialized equipment. Researchers have proposed several theories: combustion of hydrogen, oxygen, and sodium from the valley's minerals, ionized gas, piezoelectric effects from quartz crystals, or even a natural battery effect created by the valley's unique geology. Yet none fully explains the light's complex movements and patterns. Despite being one of the most scientifically studied unexplained phenomena in the world, the Hessdalen lights continue to elude complete explanation. The Bermuda Triangle. Stretching between Miami, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda lies a 500,000 square mile patch of Atlantic Ocean that's earned a chilling nickname, the Devil's Triangle. Since the 1940s, dozens of ships and planes have seemingly vanished without trace here, including Flight 19, a squadron of 5 Navy bombers that disappeared in 1945 along with their 14 crew members. What makes this zone particularly baffling? The proposed explanations just don't add up. Some scientists point to methane gas bubbles from the ocean floor potentially sinking vessels, while others suggest unusual magnetic properties interfering with navigation equipment. More recently, researchers have proposed massive rogue waves, reaching nearly 100 feet high. Yet none of these theories fully account for the unusual concentration of disappearances or explain why modern technology still can't prevent them. The triangle remains a place where our scientific understanding hits a frustrating wall. From mysterious ocean triangles to boiling rivers and crooked trees, these 10 locations remind us that Earth still holds secrets beyond our scientific grasp. Despite our technological advances, some phenomena remain just out of reach of full explanation. If you enjoyed exploring these mysterious places with me, hit that like button and subscribe for more unexplained wonders. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss next week's journey into the world's most perplexing historical artifacts that modern science still can't fully explain. Thanks for watching.